CPA and a writer. And he does it. Vito, would you like to introduce yourself?
Vito Raimondi, barbiere ritirato in Italia. E mia moglie Maria Casa.
Yeah, we recently put out a book based on interviews with Vito called Vita di Vito. And one of his claims to fame is that he was Pavarotti's barber when Pavarotti was in Chicago. All of our other things, we're trying to save our stories. Let's see.
I'm not presenting today, but I presented with Dominic and the others on the special online. And I'm here to listen to the presentation and to the support message.
If you go online, you can find previous years, presentations that were made in previous years, IA Literati. We have saved everybody's story also on YouTube. And YouTube, of course, will last forever. And so we put ourselves on for saving our stories infinitely. Jeanette, introduce yourself.
Nice to meet you. I'm Jeanette Beeman, and I've worked with Dominic for many years in the library, so I'm the one who puts all your books in the system. So,
Sir, if she doesn't like your book, CJ?
Hi, my name is CJ Martello, and I'm a veteran over here at Casa, Italia, by virtue of the fact that I went to the seminary here when I was 14. So I've had a 60-year acquaintance with this property. But I'm a columnist for the Illinois. I write titles from Roseland about the Roseland, Pullman, Kensington neighborhood. And my book is called Fond Memories of Chicago's Pullman, Roseland, Kensington neighborhoods. And I sold out of my first 700 runs and have 100 more coming soon. So otherwise, they'd have books to show you.
Expert.
Richard Sasso is here. Richard Sasso is here, and he's written, there he is. He's written an autobiography.
I wrote a short memoir. It's
Yes.
Becoming Italian. I wrote that a few years before, a little bit before the pandemic, and I did pieces for Illinois and struggling with the next book. We'll see when that comes out. I think the pandemic stymied everybody. So, but it's nice to be here today.
Casa Italia board member here today, and he knows who he is. It's Frankie Piero. Frank,
I'm a writer and a reader. And I want to thank everybody that put this on today, because we need to keep doing things and have Casa Italia be vibrant and live for all. So thank you to those responses.
Sean, would you please introduce yourself?
My step-grandfather was very important in Rose Calabrini fundraisers. I'm so grateful that because it's probably still here. And what is still being published. And it's a great opportunity. Thank you.
My name's Al Malone, and actually we live in very close to St. Louis, on the Illinois side of the river in Shiloh. I wrote Mental Journal in Chicago several years ago, and I'm very happy to be here with you. I appeared in April on the Casa, Italia. And it was a lot of fun, and I'm looking forward to another enjoyable day. Let me introduce my wife Peggy, who's the better half of this group. Our son Dominic, our oldest son Dominic. Good name. And his spouse, Rosa Penzo.
I think you're all I think it's fine. Let us begin.
Okay, IA Literati, it's Italian-American writers. Literati, I've been faulted for using the English term literati. The Italian term letterati is spelled different, so a lot of people thought it was misspelled. And I misspell a lot of things, but literati isn't one of them. We're here to save our stories. The Italian-American ethnicity is at risk of being lost. The emigration started in 1880. That's you count it 120, 140 years ago. And there's nobody coming from Italy now, except for the brain drain people. The people who experienced the actual immigration, even the ones who came after World War II, aging out and dying. So, and we haven't been good as an ethnic group in writing down our stories. We don't have a literary tradition among the immigrants. There have been some great books in Italian-American literature, Christ in Concrete, and by Pietro di Donato, and the works of Jerry Mangione. And there are academic books that trace all sorts of writers and poets, etc., and their contributions. Hardly any Italian-Americans know about these people. We are portrayed in our culture through the best film that was ever made. It was made about Italian-American gangsters. So this is how the world sees us and sometimes how we see ourselves. And then some people fault me. I hate talking about Italian food. I take it for granted, but other people limit their focus on what's Italian to food things, and they trivialize the really important stuff of what culture was like, what growing up Italian was like, what emigrating, the immigration process was like, unless they do a very, very good job of studying food. Anyhow, that's why we're here. We're here to support our writers, and if you don't buy a book by the time the day is over, we'll do something to you. We'll put you on a list. Because the one thing that we should do is to read each other and to buy each other's books, and to keep a market alive for serious Italian-American history, literature, etc. And we've got a lot of books on display here that represent a lot of work by individuals. In the library, we've got 8,000 books that relate to Italian-Americans in one way or another. And we also have books that we've published. We publish books. We do it via Amazon. And if you're thinking about writing something, you should think seriously, because there's no upfront cost to publishing on Amazon. And Jason, who's on the other end technically here, has been working tirelessly we put out 3 or 4 books this year even during the pandemic. and we're proud of it. Our latest one, as I mentioned, was Vita di Vito. And we want to get stories of heroes, stories of relatively ordinary people, or what most people call relative ordinary people. But we want you to know our rich story, not just the commercialized version of the Italian Americans.